Hello, cats and kittens. Mama Cat Gamer here with another trip through Eorzea with Gavtia. We are currently at Under the Moonlight on our main scenario quest. And let's see where we're at journal-wise. We have a few turn-ins. Got to turn in... Ooh. Turn down my sound on my phone. That's how I monitor the stream. Make sure everything's okay. Make sure I haven't disconnected or something. Alright, we have Into the Deltascape to turn in. That is for our normal raids for Stormblood. Some of these other things... I don't know what they are. I think some of them are old quests. I should actually look those up sometime. We also have Precious Reclamation. We have to deliver Hien's missive to Slaftborn and Revenant's Toll. Quake Me Up Before You, Ogamoro. This is a play on Wake Me Up Before You Go, Girl by Wham. I think it's Wham. Might have been George Michael separately, but pretty sure it's just Wham. Dumb song. It's really a dumb song. It was catchy. It was fun to dance to. That's why it got as much airplay as it did. I'm gonna go eat my Mokika. Man, I got a very full inventory. I'll just deal with that later. Hello, everyone. Rashat Riki says, the rumblings have ceased. It seems that no matter how powerful the Lord of Crags becomes, you and your companions are up to the task. Yes? You found something of interest in the navel? Lint? Crag ritual focus. Gruesome ritual tool fashioned from the bones of a kobold. Ew. That's just gross. Is this bone? And such a grotesque design. Honestly, I will never understand the kobold's sense of aesthetics. You say you acquired a similar object after your battle with Garuda? Then we must consider the possibility that these trinkets are responsible for the primal's appalling new strength. But I shall leave such conclusions to those more learned in the subject than I. Pray, return to the waking sands and convey my greetings to Urianger. Okay. Speak with the swaggering Seeker of the Sun. A new contender. Oh. That unlocks Allied Society quest in that region with the... oh God. Can't remember the name of the snake people right now. I just call them the snake people. Let's go talk to Urianger. It's been a crazy day. I try and get on a little bit earlier. But, my son got really sick and we were up at like 4:30 in the morning. Then I had to take my daughter for a 2-hour appointment. Then we had dentist stuff. Just routine dentist stuff is like all packed into one. I fell asleep in the car waiting for my daughter. Fortunately, safely. Alright, why am I looking this when I can... And you can tell I'm tired. Because I'm like having brain cramps here. Going, why don't I just use my Vesper Bay Aetheryte ticket to go to talk to Urianger? Fortunately, everybody is okay. This is like such mellow music for this area. Okay, let's go hear Urianger speak. Anything in here? I want to go to the solar. I want to see what's going on in there. No, there'll be a guy that shows up here in a little bit, I think. It's possible that that's after Shadowbringers, but I don't think so. I think it's the Stormblood thing. Anyway, he's not there yet. And he's got this, like, huge, long name that I have trouble pronouncing. Oh, I need to mend. I don't think I've mended my gear in a while. No, maybe I have, and I just forgot. Alright, good. Urianger says, so, the Lord of Crags was also possessed of unprecedented vigor, and thou hast returned with yet another curiosity of bone? So, Urianger is saying there, wow, he's really strong. And, you returned with another relic? Yes, yes we did. Let me zoom in a little bit so we can actually see his face. The kobolds are not known for fashioning objects in this manner. What is more, its construction doth bear a striking similarity to that of the trophy recovered by thee from Garuda's lair. Alright, the kobolds don't usually make relics like this. And, you know, the construction of it is super similar to the one you got from Garuda. The fleshless remains of beastman worshippers. This is the material common to both of those foreboding ritual tools. What unsavory sorcery have the paragons bequeathed to their unsuspecting pawns? Alright. The bones of these beastman worshippers, that's the common material to make these tools. And what nasty magic have the paragons, the Asians, taught their pawns? There is yet another commonality to this augmentation of the primals that concerns me, and that is thee, Gavtia. Right, there's another common thread to the strengthening of the primals that worries me, and it's you, Gav. For every mountain thou dost conquer, I am struck by the answering, waxing in potency of the primals. The pattern is too clear to ignore. Alright. For every time you succeed in some greater task, these primals get even stronger. It's too much of a pattern to ignore. Such a cycle bodes naught but ill for the realm. I must unlock the true nature of these immortal entities ere the land is once more racked with ruin. And as always, thou art my stoutest ally in the gathering of the requisite keys. Alright. This kind of cycle, is no good, man. No good. I gotta figure out the, how these, immortal entities are working before Eorzea is, destroyed. And as usual, you're my best friend in gathering these, clues. Ooh, he's gotten something new for me. Urianger seeks to prepare for the coming of the Lord of the Inferno. If it ain't broke. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Urianger says, we are fortunate that the Lord of the Inferno hath yet to rear his horned head. I fear, however, that reports of his return will not be long in the coming. Okay, we are super lucky that Ifrit hasn't reared his ugly head. But I think we're going to be hearing from him in the not-too-distant future. My quest for knowledge yet remains unfinished, but such a task can only properly be undertaken in a world unracked by chaos. Let us bow to inevitability and prepare ourselves for what will undoubtedly turn into another blistering trial. Okay. I'm still looking for info. But, I can only do that when it's kind of quiet out. So let us be prepared for the worst. And hope for the best. Pray, visit High Commander Swift at the Hall of Flames in Ul'dah and advise him that the fiery primal will likely soon be among us once more. Mayhap with a measure of foresight, we can lessen the impact of Ifrit's arrival. So go see High Commander Swift in Ul'dah. Tell him Ifrit's going to be here soon. And if we're prepared, we might get out of this better. Alright. Do you have anything else for us? None save thee can deliver Ishgard from Lady Iceheart's vengeance. Alright, he doesn't have anything new on that. We already went out to Dromont. Let's go to Swift. I like the music in this little zone. It's kind of cool sounding. Swift says, Gav of the Scions, your timing is most fortunate. Allow me to brief you on the situation. Both the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder informed us of their recent troubles with disturbingly powerful primals. And as these incidents ever occur in threes, we immediately sought to gather intelligence on Amalja activity. We've lost contact with the first reconnaissance party assigned to the task. I then deployed one of our elite units to learn the fate of the missing scouts, but they also have failed to report back. In their most recent missive, my elite troops declared their intention to investigate the Bowl of Embers. Though they may have been overwhelmed by the Lizardmen, we must consider the possibility that the Lord of the Inferno has reclaimed his domain. It is with some measure of wounded pride, then, that I must request your aid. Assemble a group of your companions and strike into the heart of Amalja territory in southern Thanalan. If Ifrit has indeed returned, you are to banish him back to the ether by whatever means is necessary. You will likely have to renew your bond with the Zaharic Aetheryte to enter the Bowl of Embers. The Lizardmen have undoubtedly realigned their crystals since you last felled their god, and unfortunately, that means cutting your way through a goodly number of their sentries to reach it. The Grand Company of the Immortal Flames is no stranger to sacrifice when it comes to battling the primals, but the struggle costs far too many lives, and often creates a host of new-tempered enemies. You and your unique talents, however, can spare the families of our soldiers that grief. I will pass on news of your involvement in this mission to the Scions myself. Why? We're a Scion. I mean, can we not call them on the link peril and say, hey, I'm going off to do this thing? Should our primal fears prove substantiated, then I pray your efforts meet with success. We always seem to forget that we have a link pearl at the most convenient times, you know? Let's go to retune to that so we can unlock it. It's not gonna let me fly any higher. Can't fly over the mountain there. Oh, we're not gonna fight through these guys. Just gonna fly over them. Solve my problem. Wait. You're not gonna let me dismount there, really? This game sometimes. Alright, we've unlocked the Bull of Embers Extreme. I wonder if that's on my Wondrous Tales. No, I still got the Naval Extreme though. I got 0 of 9. I'm gonna have to do some roulettes. Let's go to Slaftborn and Revenant's Toll. Saying hello to Free Company. What's that, Gav? Business concerning the Domans? Ian's missive, a letter penned by Lord Ian himself and addressed to Slaftborn of Revenant's Toll. I see. Lord Ian really needn't have gone to such trouble, but I know all too well how much our Far Eastern friends worry themselves over decorum. As for the matter of the refugees' repatriation, I'll not lie, we've come to view them as family and will be sorry to see them go, many of the other fellow frontier hands especially. So let us do you one better. I shall appeal to their Eorzean comrades and invite them to accompany the Domans on their journey that they too might aid in the reconstruction of the Enclave. I expect many will jump at the opportunity. A costly thing to send so many people, to be sure, but owing to Lord Ian's generosity, we seem to have found ourselves with a surplus of funding. It's hard to imagine the toll without Doman refugees. They help make it what it is today. Bah, what am I saying? This is a happy occasion. Go and tell Hozan the news. I'm sure he'll be overjoyed. Okay. Where is he? How very good to see you, my friend, though not at all expected. You look as though you have something important to say. Do you? I know not what to say. Return to Doma? Has the day truly come at last? Wait here while I summon the others. This concerns them all. My word, and they are already making arrangements for our return? Yay! Why the long face, Higiri? This is cause for celebration. It is. Like all of you, I've dreamed of this day since the moment we left Yangsha. But now that it has arrived, I cannot help but think of those to whom we owe so much. Slaftborn especially. Dewari says, Indeed, even if it were possible to leave this very moment, I could not. Not until I thanked the people here for everything they've done for us. I remember when we first arrived in this land and learned of its troubles. Though disappointed, I understood why no one could grant us shelter. Who were we? Why risk so much for strangers? But this place and these people were different. When all others turned us away, Revenant's Toll welcomed us with open arms. I love Doma and Lord Ian with all my heart and want nothing more than to return and help rebuild. But I implore you, Hozan, we must first do our utmost to repay their boundless kindness. Hozan says, never did I intend for us to disappear into the night like thieves and vagabonds. Everything you have said is right and true. All labors we have undertaken will be seen to a measure of completion. That much goes without saying, I am sure. I will speak with Slaftborn and ensure that we have enough days to prepare for our journey. In the meantime, I would encourage you all to prepare gifts and so forth. Home says, very good, very good. It would not do to leave without saying proper farewells, else we would labor under a cloud of regret. At my age, one appreciates every opportunity to put their affairs in order. After all, I may not weather the journey home, much less another one to Eorzea. Ha! Says Hozan, given your constitution, father, I should not be surprised if you bury us all. And Hozan says, if you have no pressing obligations, Gav, might I impose upon you to assist us with our final preparations? Since this is all quite sudden, many of our people may require a second opinion on a farewell gift or something else. All I ask is that you make yourself available for any such consultations. Would that be all right? Oh, sure. We got time between saving the world. Thank you, my friend. We will look for you near the northern gate. Quickly now, everyone. Let's not keep Gav waiting. I wonder what level this is. Ah, it's level 70, so I can't do it on my samurai, I don't think. Nope, he's only level 62 on samurai. Alright, we'll do it on Reaper. Because we can. Assisting the Doma refugees with their final preparations will take several minutes. You may wish to cancel any pending duty finder registrations. Yep. Okay, we are not in any. This panning back and forth is making me dizzy. Homai says, so kind of you to spare the time to help us with something so trivial. No doubt you have many other important matters to attend to. Anyway, I wanted to ask your opinion on a gift I wish to give a dear friend of mine before leaving. Isildar. You remember Isildur, do you not? Alian's grandfather? Though older than me, the two of them were still going on grand adventures before they joined the Scions. Ah, how I envy his vigor. Though we have done little more than drink tea and speak of our children, I have cherished his company. I will miss him, truly. Alas, in recent days, his body has begun to get the better of him, and so I was thinking of giving him something for his health. Do you have any suggestions? We could say eye drops, perhaps. A tonic for his memory, or anything for his back should do. He hasn't ever complained about his eyes. Isildur needs an eye exam. Then you can have the eye doctor prescribe drops as needed. A tonic for his memory. His memory is not bad, so anything for his back should do. I thought so too, but I'm glad to see you agree. I swear, not a day goes by without him complaining about his back. Yeah, he does if you talk to him. It is a great comfort knowing that the Scions are well aware of their comrades' conditions. It shows how much you care for one another. Now then, I must procure the ingredients for my home remedy. My thanks to you. Homai departs in high spirits, satisfied with your suggestions. Duari says, my friend, if you could spare a moment of your time. The toll is home to many interests to which we owe a great deal, but there is one in particular to which we should definitely pay respects, Rowena's House of Splendors. The house has been an invaluable source of goods and services in both professional and personal matters. I'm sure you too can say the same. And so I thought to bid farewell to the one representative with whom I have worked most closely. If you would, look to the counter by the gate. I speak of the raven-haired beauty by the gate. Of all Rowena's girls, she has been very helpful. There is a problem, however. I cannot for the life of me remember her name. They all sound so similar. Perhaps it is my Doman ear. Oh my god, I don't remember her name either. But you know her name, surely? Please tell me that I might have a proper conversation with her before I return to my homeland. Okay, I know it's either Elena or Oriana. I thought she dealt in primal arms and whatnot. Oriana, I didn't know you collected tombstones. I know it's not Lorena. At least I don't think it is Lorena. Gijusana Papana. Oh, so you're really interested in the Zodiac Braves. Oh my god. Uh-oh. She's the raven-haired one. Yeah, it's Elena. Okay. Thought he said to the right. She's actually to the left. Elena, that's it! I remembered as soon as you said it. I knew I was right to ask you. They say you're perhaps the house's most valued customer. Anyway, I'd best go and speak with her before I forget again. Dewari departs in high spirits, grateful for your assistance. I'm trying to turn my camera here. There we go. Glad they didn't make her walk up here, so we had to wait even longer. Gav, have you seen a carbuncle roaming about? Over the course of my time here in Revenant's Toll, I've come to know many adventurers, including an arcanist, with a somewhat disobedient companion. It seems every day her carbuncle wanders off on its own, you see, and today is no exception. For a mercy, it will respond to its name more earnestly when called by someone other than its owner, strangely enough. The problem is I cannot seem to recall what it was. Some sort of gemstone, I think. You could say emerald, definitely emerald. Oh, you must mean ruby. I'd wager it's topaz, and if it's not obsidian, it should be. I can't go with the last one, even if it's wrong. Obsidian, now I know I have heard that name before. Yes, that must surely be it. Thank you for your help, Gav. I will join her in the search right away. I mean, you do have emerald, topaz, and ruby carbuncles, but I think Elfinos is obsidian. Higiri departs in high spirits and begins calling out for obsidian at once. Alas, no errant carbuncle is forthcoming. It's hiding. If we see an obsidian carbuncle around, let me know. I'm like seeing what all these people in the background are doing here. Well, hey, Jakey. You gonna come up and make an appearance today? Ozan says, how fortunate I am that you are still here. My father told me how you helped him, and I was hoping you might do the same for me. I seek your wisdom concerning Slaftborn of the Adventurers Guild, who helped secure us a place here in Revenant's Toll. Thanks to him, we were able to work side by side with the frontier hands to build these walls and lay these cobblestones. We were given food and shelter, it is true, but more importantly, we were given purpose. We have, of course, already expressed our gratitude to him many times before. I myself presented Slaftborn with a Doman dagger, which I am told he treasures. But now that we must part ways, I feel as though we must make one final grand gesture, a more elaborate, expensive gift, perhaps, or... Well, what do you think? We could say something flashy and gaudy that's got bells on. Or maybe just try to stay in touch. The latter. Really? We should be glad to maintain our relationship with Slaftborn and the Toll, but do you truly believe that in and of itself is enough? Perhaps you have the right of it, considering the lengths he has gone to ease our burdens. Spending exorbitant sums on farewell gifts may only frustrate him. Besides, whatever we purchased would come from the Eorzean markets. Better to wait until we have returned to our homeland that we might send him something more Doman. Dried persimmons from my village, perhaps. Now I can't say persimmon correctly anymore, because I hear her Yotsu saying persimmon. Hozan's eyes sparkle as he considers the possibilities, clearly satisfied with your suggestion. Well, hi, buddy. Hozan says, how go your efforts, brothers and sisters? By all accounts, it went quite well. Come on. Come on. You coming? Come on. You can climb up? There you go. Alright. You gotta get it on my face, though. Alright. Say hi to the stream, Jakey. By all accounts, it went well, and we have you to thank for that. You are too kind, my friend. I don't know if the mic's picking up his purring or not. Higiri says, Hozan, you were going to meet with Slaftborn one last time, were you not? We were hoping you would allow us to accompany you. If so, please let us know when you do. You like your scritches, don't you? There are some few matters I must attend to before I speak with Slaftborn, but it should not take much. That is Rish Palali, is it not? Formerly of the Crystal Braves. Another kind-hearted soul to whom we owe much. She looks as though she is searching for something or someone. Gav, I know it's not my place to ask, but would you assist her? I would myself if I could, but with our impending journey? Alright, we can take this stuff, or I'll just take the Alligans piece. I don't need the food. You happy pussycat. In order to undertake the subsequent quest, you must first complete the Doman Adventurers Guild quest, Short Arms of the Law. You may speak with Resh Palali in order to undertake the side story quest, beginning with Toll Booty. Alright, we will... Does she require us to... Toll booty, okay. Gav! My, it seems so long since Castrum Sentry. Don't you recognize me? No, I suppose you wouldn't remember everyone you rescue. And I looked quite different when we met dressed in my uniform. I'm Rish Palali. It's been quite some time since, but I served with the Crystal Braves' 4th unit, until everything fell apart, that is. Everyone went their own ways. Some followed Captain Ilberd, others found new work altogether. I've kept busy guarding the frontier hands here. A little too busy, in fact. I can scarce find a moment to spend with my family. The transition wasn't entirely easy. I was bedridden after Castrum Sentry, and by the time I was fit for duty, the Crystal Braves just weren't anymore. Whoop. Hang on. In a strange way, I've my injuries to thank for keeping me from the worst of it. Oh, speaking of that, you're close to the Domans, aren't you? Would you happen to know where Rauka is? She aided in my recovery, and, well, it's quite embarrassing that I didn't notice until now, but... There was a great misunderstanding, you see. Her earrings were bundled up in my bags. I've been trying to return them, but those children are neither seen nor heard. I can't find her no matter how much I look. I'm sure the girl misses her earrings, but I simply don't have the time to track her down. And apparently, as Warrior of Light, we do have time. What? Do you really have a spare moment to look for her in my stead? Yeah, we're in between saving the world. Oh, thank you, Gav. Thank you so much. There you are. I've heard the Doman children visit the House of Splendors. Though never when I'm there for some reason, but... Oh, hang on. You're caught on my shirt, buddy. There you go. But speak with Rowena. Very little escapes her, even invisible children. Alright, we also have to do this one. In order to undertake this quest, you must first complete Short Arms of the Law. Where is that one? Now I gotta go find it. Oh, he's the kid. That's right. It's actually a cute little quest. Looking for the Doman children? Aye. They sometimes help arrange my less valuable wares. Just finished for the day, though. Come to think of it, Oriana said she caught sight of them playing nearby. Might catch them, should you have the patience to wait. Wait at the designated spot near Rowena's establishment. There they go. I hereby call this meeting of the Doman Adventurers Guild to order. Sid, old business first. Kaharu, we'll start with you. I've been helping Miss Alice get the ingredients she wanted. Roka says, I was helping treat hurt adventurers. Shun says, and I've been helping arrange stuff for Rowena. No, that's not right. Those are all just chores. I want to go on a proper adventure. Didn't any of you find anything exciting or scary or mysterious we could explore? Roka says, did you find anything, Yozan? I bet you didn't. I did too. We've got a big wide world to explore, and I was looking into ways to do it, which is more than could be said for any of you. Spoken like a true kid. Shun says, oh, it's true. Yozan got caught sneaking into a horsebird cart. Mr. Slaffborn was yelling at him for bells after that. Roka says, you're hopeless. I'm sorry, Yozan. It's just... just laughing at him. Shun says, you little snitch. I told you that in secret. But Yozan, I may have found us a quest. I overheard some people talking, and they said there's something hidden at Camp Revenant's Toll. It might be a famous adventurer's lost treasure, or a vengeful spirit who was sealed away, or something else. No one knows for sure. Yozan says, that's perfect. We could be the first to find out what's hidden there. Now, we've just got to figure out how to leave town without being caught. Mr. Gav, what are you doing here? I was so sad when I thought I lost these earrings. I brought them all the way from Doma, you know. Thank you, Mr. Gav. Yozan says, hold on a moment. I've got an important announcement. The Doma Adventurers Guild needs experience in the field actually adventuring. No one's going to let us, though, because they think it's too dangerous. But Mr. Gav is a good friend of the guild, and he's an incredible adventurer, too. So, I say we invite him to join us in this quest. Gav's great. What? Koharu says, oh, yes, I want to go on adventures with Mr. Gav. Gav's going, oh god, oh god, oh god. Shun says, and I'll feel much safer if he comes along with us, Yozan. Gav's going, no, I'm not taking the kids into the field. Roka says, once Yozan's made up his mind, nothing can unmake it. Welcome to the guild, Mr. Gav. Now, come on, we've got to find out what's hidden at Camp Revenant's Toll. Alright, what does Shun say? Do you know what vengeful spirits look like? And can you beat them if that's what we find? Yes and yes. Roka says, adults are always saying that adventuring is not all fun and games, but why? It looks like a fun game. Koharu, I wonder what's buried out there. I bet it's silver and gold or really old weapons. Yozan says, oh, I almost forgot to tell you, Mr. Gav, we've given up on being the Doman Braves. It just didn't seem right after everything that happened. Okay. Shall we? Let's go survey the spot. Roka says, are you sure this is where Revenant's Toll used to be? Shun says, it doesn't look anything like a town. Not even a little. Where would we even start looking for hidden treasure? What do we do, Yozan? We won't know anything until we poke around a bit. Spread out, see what you can find, and be careful of monsters. Alright, we gotta search for treasure. I'm betting we'll find something up here. Soiled canvas. From amongst the refuse, you find a cloudy bottle of what appears to be wine. Well, that could definitely be, depending on, how good it is, could be very valuable. Nothing, nothing, and more nothing. Did you find anything? An old glass bottle filled with what appears to be wine, but you cannot be certain. Even Mr. Gav only found this junk. Huh. Treasure's not easy to come by, I guess. Roka says, but this might not be junk, Yozan. Isn't really old wine valuable? Kohara says, that's right. With wine, the older the better. Miss Flamine told me so. Mr. Slaffborn knows a lot about wine, too. He spent bells and bells talking about it to some adventurer. Kohara says, wow, Mr. Slaffborn's much wiser than he looks, isn't he? Yozan, why don't we ask him about this bottle? Maybe we shouldn't. I think he'll just be angry that we have the wine at all. Oh, but he wouldn't scold you, Mr. Gav. Could you ask him for us? Yeah, sure. Great, we'll go back to Revenant's Toll. Tell us what you find out. We'll go back to Revenant's Toll. What's it you need of my friend? Handing him the bottle of wine. Wine? Much as I might like to join you in a glass, I'm on duty. Pray, where did you find so aged a bottle? I take it you were searching for treasure at the old camp, and you came to me to learn its value? I'm afraid it has none whatsoever, but you have found the lost treasure of Revenant's Toll, after a fashion. Now, our town is flourishing, but 'twas not always so. Not so very long ago, this was an utterly savage place, marked by little but ruin and the stench of death. It was a hard life for the few who chose it, and naturally they took comfort in the bottle by night. By and by, passing adventurers would bring wine with them to join the settlers in a glass. So prized was this wine that certain adventurers took to calling it treasure for a spell. As time went on, someone mistook this name for sooth and came searching for this vaunted liquor. The first were adventurers, of course, but shopkeepers and artisans soon followed. But the monsters around here were still deadly, and the paths still as treacherous, and many who came searching paid for this misunderstanding with their lives. So the settlers came up with a new rumor. Revenant's Toll belonged to the dead, they said. And any man who slept on the land would have their soul torn from their body to wander these bleak fields forever as a vengeful spirit. As you can imagine, that nonsense was enough to scare the inexperienced and drunks away, and soon the tales of treasure faded away into legend. And that, my friend, is the truth buried at Camp Revenant's Toll. Alright. Gotta go report to Yozan. Shun says, I don't know why everyone thinks Mr. Slaffborn is frightening. He's only ever been nice to me. Roka says, there's older wine than that bottle you found, right? So someone could still drink it? Maybe not. I think Yozan's afraid to talk to Mr. Slaffborn because he got scolded. What did Mr. Slaffborn say about the wine? Oh, so there never really was a treasure of Revenant's Toll. Bother, I was hoping for buried gold or an ancient demon or something. But I guess it wasn't so bad after all. We did get to go outside the town and explore with Mr. Gav. Alright. Little rascals. Yozan is in the mood for another adventure. I'm gonna pick this up But we'll do it another time. Hello, Mr. Gav. Have you found us another quest? Nope. Oh, I was hoping. Well, no matter. We Doma adventurers can find our own. Everyone, go and see what the travelers are talking about. Any rumor of more treasure we could hunt, or giant demons we could slay, or whatever. We just need to find something good. Then we'll head off on another quest with our trusty advisor in tow. Roka says, "Hey, Mr. Gav, could you tell Miss Riche to be careful, please? She was badly hurt. She shouldn't push herself too hard." Oh, hello, Gav. Did you ever find Roka? Yep, we did. Oh, good. I'm glad she got her earrings back. I would like to thank her in person someday, though. She's such a sweet little thing. My daughter could learn a thing or two from her. Oh, but you've heard the news. There's been a theft, and they think children are behind it. The Adventurers Guild has even begun an official investigation. I'm not privy to the details, but I do know that Doma younglings are under suspicion. I can't imagine they would turn to crime, though. Wouldn't you agree? It's got to be a big misunderstanding. I've half a mind to speak to Slaffborn on the children's behalf. If only my word carried any weight. Forgive me, but could you look into this? You've shown yourself a steadfast friend of the Domans. I trust that you'll handle it nicely. Okay. We're going to leave that be for the time. Let's go speak with Sid, and then we'll go speak with Lise at Bloodhow. Good evening to you, sir. We'll be descending into the yawn. Yes. As I add my yawns. Mark 14 Thermocoil Boilmaster. Shwee! It's making coffee for us. Has Nero got anything snarky to say? Well, aren't we in fine form? Remarkably, not so much. Well done, my friend. We were lucky enough to witness every moment of your struggle via the Deltascape's various surveillance devices. I dare say we had a better view than you did. Gaining control over them was the extent of our accomplishments for this outing, though I suppose we did also learn your adversary's name. Rest assured, however, that there will be plenty more such outings. Preliminary analysis suggests that there are 4 combatants in Deltascape all told, including your friend Alteroid, which means you will be required to win 3 further bouts, with deltas 2 to 4 in this test world alone. Needless to say, there are plenty more such worlds in the Rift, holding the remaining 85 subjects between them. Plainly, our host has gone to no small amount of trouble. Quite why it is so obsessed with determining the strongest being is another question. Midgard Stormer says, Omega seeketh to improve itself, to evolve. This is ever its primary directive, though through contending with mighty foes it groweth stronger. Having vanquished the vile simulacrum you call Shinryu, a greater adversary was needed. In the absence of such a being, it had but to create one. Sid says, so, in the name of self-improvement, it wants to make a new playmate? And it chose to undertake the task here to avoid outside interference, yes? Midgard-Zormr says, in part, the making of life is not Omega's primary function. It bringeth complex beings into the corporeal realm, only at great cost to itself. As such, it employeth this plane to test unfinished works, that it might determine a single entity worthy of creation. Sid says, if I understand you correctly, the moment Omega's grand experiment is complete, it'll give birth to a creature mightier even than Shinryu, and then proceed to fight it? Gods help us if a battle of that scale should come to pass. The powers unleashed would be enough to bring about another calamity. Nero says, assuming the dragon has the right of it, all test subjects must needs be works in progress, save for ourselves, of course. But how then do we explain Alpha? As I recall, it manifested corporeally outside the rift. Then again, it is hardly the most complex of creatures. Mayhap it was finished by accident. Which says, don't you make fun of Alpha. He's a good boy, and if it hadn't been for him, we would have all been erased. He's might not be strong, but he's brave and reliable and adorable. He is pretty adorable. I'm amused that he's taller than Wedge. Big says, changing the subject for a moment, Chief. After you lost track of Omega, you said you re-engaged the stasis systems, right? Meaning something somewhere isn't working like it should. I only ask because me and Wedge have done pretty much all we can here, and we're wondering if it might be worth going to Cartano to look into it. Sid said, that would be a great help. Nero and I can handle things at this end. We'll be off then. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, eh? And Wedge said, and you be a good boy, Alpha. Do as you're told and look after Gab for me. Well, what are we waiting for? Nero. Does Alpha have any new quiz? Do we have new coffee? Oh, I like how it whistles. That's nice. Sid seems keen to pitch you against the next foe in the Deltascape. We must pray that Biggs and Wedge are able to repair the stasis system. If they can't, we'll have little choice but to see Omega's experiment all the way to its bitter conclusion. A tall order, I concede, and one that would require you to prove yourself the mightiest being in creation. Well, we must hope for the best and plan for the worst, which in this case means pressing on with the tests. Are you ready for the next foray? Nero says, one moment, Chief. My analysis is yet incomplete, but it would seem subject Delta 2 is capable of manipulating gravity. How fortunate, then, that I but recently chanced to assemble something which might mitigate its effects. An anti-gravity gimbal. May it serve you well. What the heck is an anti-gravity gimbal? What is a gimbal? Does anybody know what a gimbal is? I don't know what a gimbal is. They are hard. They're kind of fun, though. Alright, I gotta see what a gimbal is. Just because it's gonna drive me crazy. A gimbal is a pivoted support that permits rotation of an object about an axis. A set of 3 gimbals, one mounted on the other with orthogonal pivot axes, may be used to allow an object mounted on the innermost gimbal to remain independent of the rotation of its support. For example, on a ship, the gyroscopes, shipboard compasses, stoves, and even drink holders typically use gimbals to keep them upright with respect to the horizon despite the ship's pitching and rolling. Okay. So it's a little device that keeps you upright. Okay. That's probably a naval thing. Quay! Quay! Alpha appears eager to proceed. You may enter Deltascape 2.0 whenever you are ready. Okay. Our duty finder has been updated. I wanted to make sure I didn't have to talk to anybody else. Alright. Alright, speak with Lise at Ludhow. That is a pretty big castle there. It's kind of a cool view in the dark here. Yeah. We were in the process of checking Xenos' grave to see if he was really in there. Alize says, most of the graves are grouped together, but they managed to find a lonely spot for Xenos, didn't they? Ingrid said, my money is on writhing snakes, possibly spiders. Let's prease it open and see what comes out. That makes me feel better, Thancred. Thanks. Lisa's, what? This is it. Gods, he'd better be in there. Someone scrawled all over the stone a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off and thought no more about it. Ingrid said, so, no one thought to check if the coffin was still occupied. Well then, we are presented with but one course of action. And we had best be sure we are not observed in the doing of it. Shall we begin?
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
The way he said that is so funny. Oh dear.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
He says, if there's no corpse, then are we to conclude the rumors are true? Thancred says, not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger or of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend credence to the tale of Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I find myself siding with Elfino's theory of Ascian possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell you they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. He says, You're saying an Ascian is walking around in Xenos' body? Ingrid says, it seems a distinct possibility. Once I have put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if a body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Xenos was properly dead. Lee says, if he wasn't, that was some trick. He as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Raban needs to hear about this. If you find anything out, send word to me at Rogger's Reach. Ellie says, oh, I don't know why I'm surprised. With matters settling down in Doma, we were due another crisis. Shall we make for the Rising Stones, then? It's past time we shared these developments with the others. I was just going to leave Thancred to do all the dirty work with the vault there. At least they quick traveled me back. That's kind of nice. Let's talk to the people before we talk to her. Alion says, you needn't worry for my grandfather. If he should grow lonely and start to long for Home's company, he will purchase passage on the next ship bound for the Far East. I couldn't stop him if I tried. Aww. Ryle. We gathered what scraps of intelligence we could, myself from within Eorzea and Alphino from his Far Eastern sources. But there's a limit to what a bloke can learn about the Empire from outside its borders. Still, I'd never think to invite myself aboard an Imperial bloody airship. 'Twas impulsive, reckless. You got to admire the lad's style. That's very Ryle. Hoary Boulder. The Domans have as much claim to Revenant's toll as you and me. They're family. Thank the gods I made it back in time to see them off. Oh, hey! Hey! Hey, hey! Yeah. Can I call you back in about 2 hours? Okay, cool. Because I was live streaming on Mama Cat Gamer, and I didn't realize I had gotten into the chat. No, you can't be heard on the stream. Doing good. Doing good. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Let's do that. Good. I look forward to talking to you. I've missed you. Yeah. I'll talk to you later, man. All right. But talk to you in a while. I was on Discord chat and I didn't realize it. With a friend of mine who had just gotten out of rehab after a long illness, so I'm thrilled that he's doing better. Very excited. So I got to catch up with him. I haven't been able to talk to him for a couple months. All right. Hori says, the Domans have as much claim to Revenant's toll as you and me. They're family. Thank the gods I made it back in time to see them off. Efemi says, will Isildur be all right without Home? They're practically inseparable these days, and I don't think he has many other friends. Aenor says, I know I need to give Isildur my undivided attention, but these waves of brotherly love make my mind drift to naughty places. I love Aenor. Focus, Aenor, focus. Which brother should I take? Clemens says, I hope Isildur can find someone to keep him company. With our missions, we can never linger very long. Isildur says, it's for the best. It is their past and their future, their home, and I could not be happier for them. Kultene. It would seem Master Alphino has placed himself squarely in the path of danger. As a fellow scion, I shall render whatever aid I can to ensure his safe return. Ochre Boulder. Though he's but half the size of my courageous brother, 'twould seem Alfino's bravery looms twice as large. Even Hori might hesitate before embarking alone into the heart of the Empire. Alright. Yeah, it's like, Alfino, you gotta be nuts to go with them. Alize says, while I was waiting for you to arrive, I spoke with Urianger over Link Pearl and gave him a full report. Y'shtola is on her way and should be here any... Ah! Here she is. Alize, Gav, 'tis good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the east? Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too would conclude that an Ascian now inhabits Xenos' body. Doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince's subordinates, but Gav? Nay. Alfino had the right of it. Would that his wisdom extended to the question of his own safety. Capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold in the shadowy web of the Paragons, like as not. Alize says, when it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Alize, ever the action gal. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace... Varys, so Scava says, we cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? Zeno says, more than clear. The icon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The summoner is dead and the rite beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan, every party behaving exactly as required. Zeno says, my methods may seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of the star. Oh, wait. Hang on, I gotta give the kids the key. I forgot it's in my pocket. Had to give the kids the van key. Rigan Soldier. What are you doing fiddling with that thing? I asked you a question, soldier. Have you lost your mind? I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own, says the katana-wielding soldier. There upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final bow, only to find that the finale was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins? Embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I think not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. This is a little evil grin there. Alright. Y'shtola says, Elfino will have need of all his wits if he is to survive his visit to Garlemald. We know precious little about life in the Imperial capital. Well, we're about ready to learn, aren't we? Alright, what does Alize have to say? With thoughts of Elfino's plight weighing heavy on her mind, Alize might welcome some company. It's been an eventful few days, hasn't it? But I suppose all we can do now is wait for a word from Elfino. I don't recall the last time I had nothing pressing to be getting on with. We should probably make the most of it. Shall I put on some tea? Y'shtola says, Tea would be lovely. You may regale me with the tale of your adventures in the Far East, and of your encounter with this new primal especially. Alize says, I'll put the kettle on then. That table looks free if you'd like to take a seat. Alright, do they have anything else for us? I'll take care of the tea. You can claim us a table. It is pronounced Tsukuyomi, correct? A figure from Far Eastern mythology, no doubt. Upon sitting at the table, several cutscenes will play in sequence. We are in the post-Stormblood quest. So we're going to have more cutscenes. That's kind of typical for the patches. It's recommended that you set aside sufficient time to view these scenes in their entirety. All right. Interesting. So this Tsukuyomi was summoned in much the same manner as Susano, via the medium of a sacred relic. Alize says, that's right. They believe their gods, or kami, reside in physical objects. And given the danger they represent, it may behoove us to begin a catalog of such relics, but if we are to contain the threat, we will require a better understanding of the summoning method itself. I believe I shall pay a visit to Doma and learn what I can on the subject. Alize says, a fine idea, and I know for a fact that our friends in Doma would be grateful for any information which could help to prevent further summoning in the region. I will pen you a letter of introduction. Lord Hien will wish to welcome our resident expert on etherology. Thangren, greetings! Could it be that I'm in time for tea? Alize says, it certainly looks that way. Come on, sit down and tell us how your investigations went. Thangren says, after you left, I went about questioning Bloodhow's gravekeepers. They all told much the same story. Once Lise and her officers had confirmed Xenos dead, his corpse was interred under strict supervision. There seems little reason to doubt their testimony on that point, but when I mentioned the defacement of Xenos' grave, accounts grew rather more vague. None reported having seen any suspicious persons in the vicinity, and all assumed the act to have been perpetrated by a vengeful Alamegan. Crucially, however, I was able to confirm that when the offending scrawl was removed, as per Lisa's instructions, no one involved thought to check the contents of the coffin. By that stage, 'tis like that the corpse was already missing. Assuming Xenos was not, in fact, risen from the dead, we are left with two possibilities. Either the body was disposed of to lend credence to the claims of an extremely committed imposter, or an Ascian has taken up residence within it. Ishtola says, if Asahi was as fervent a devotee as you believe, he would not have been fooled by an impersonation, however committed. We must assume that we are dealing with an Ascian and proceed accordingly. Thancred says, agreed. The question is, how many more such monsters are waiting for Alphino and Garlemald? Elisa says, the presence was his chief reason for going. He understood the risks. I only hope he did not underestimate the extent of the infestation. Meanwhile, on the Imperial Hypersonic Assault Craft LXXV, L25, for those of you who don't speak Roman numeral, Maximus, Master Alphino, we are making good speed towards our destination. Is aught amiss? Alphino says, nay, 'tis just I can see naught from my cabin and was curious to know the land over which we flew. Maximus says, I'm afraid our military craft are built with little thought for such niceties. I'm happy to indulge your curiosity, however. We are presently passing over the burn on the western edge of Othard. Even with the benefit of a porthole, your gaze would have been greeted with naught but malms upon malms of lifeless earth. Alphino said, I have read something of the burn. It was described as a desolate wasteland, bled dry of every last drop of ether. Maximus says, aye, it's believed that a succession of icon summonings was responsible. When Emperor Solus first came to Othard and beheld this blight, he is said to have reeled at the scale of the devastation. He declared icons a threat to our very star's existence, and issued an empire-wide decree ordering the eradication of all such entities. Ooh. Report! Pilot says, we're under attack, sir. Magitech armor, no visible designation. Magitech? But who? All cannons, return fire. Damage report. Pilot says, the main reactor has been hit. Helm unresponsive. We're going down, sir. Damn it, they knew exactly where to hit us. All hands, brace for impact. Uh-oh. Glad to have you back, Master Alphino. We've landed in one piece. More or less. But the air filtration system is damaged and the ship is filling with smoke. We must gather the survivors and get out while we still can. Aye. Aye. Duty calls. Commence battle for Emissary of the Dawn. I didn't read the guide on this solo duty, so we're gonna go in blind, I guess. In the coming battle, you will fight as Alphino. This is like my least favorite thing to do. Keep still as you can. Master Alphino, might I ask you to search for survivors? I'll see to our injured. Alright. Anything broken? My leg, it's caught. Alright, we have Rune 3. Deals unexpected danger with a potency of 200. Physics. Physic. Singular. Restores target's HP. Tri-Shackle. Deals unaspected damage with a potency of 30 to target and all enemies near it. Additional effect, Bind. Okay. And that's and then Starstorm is our limit break. Okay. Sort Pet Hotbar. Well, sure, why not? Alright, we'll do it that way. I got my single target, multi-target, and heal. And of course I've got, like, no potions. Ah! I see dead people. Whoop, didn't mean to heal my carbuncle. Revive the wounded soldier. My thanks. I don't think I would have made it. Yes, you very likely saved his life. The question of who would try to take it remains, however. Put these last few out of their misery. The prince wishes none left alive. The prince? They've come not to parley, I fear. Ready your weapons. Heal myself. I think I'm gonna single target these dudes. Get this hostile stranger. Let's get the stranger. Get the commander next. 200 does more than 30. Yeah, that's quite a bit of difference. I am going to die. Let's hide behind Maxima. Okay. Uh-oh. But wait, there's more. Confound it! Not here! Not like this! I'm only 15, I don't want to die. What? Who in the Emperor's name? Elfino says, enemies of our enemies. Introductions can wait. Maxima says, you're calm in a crisis, Master Alfino. Let us finish this then. Oh boy. And now this dude's joining us. Let's stay by our carbuncle here. I bet that little blue circle means they're healing us. Menacing mercenary. Is that the down with you? Let's bind them. Okay. Oh, let's limit break. What was that skill he just did? Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Elfino says, "My thanks. Your intervention proved most timely." Well, well. I did not think to meet an Eorzean in this place, let alone a Scion. You know of me, sir? The mercenary says, "I have some small history with your order." "But I would speak at the present. Know you your assailants and the severity of your predicament?" Maximus says, "The soldiers bore the insignia of the Emperor's personal guard." Elfino says, "And I could venture a guess as to their motive, but you yet have us at a disadvantage, sir. Will you not tell us who you are?" "Our names are not yours for the asking, and as for our purpose, let this be your answer." An Ascian mask! The face of our prey. "We must away before more arrive. Come with us or stay, but make your choice now." Maximus says, "Even should we manage the long trek out of the burn and secure passage to the capital, we would no doubt be greeted by the Emperor's guard." Elfino says, "Indeed, we accept your gracious offer, Shadowhunter will suffice for the moment." "Come." We're just gonna leave that Ascian mask laying out. Oh, he's got a whole bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7. With the one he tossed away. That's quite a few. Elise says, "Oh, this is intolerable. But as much as I wish it were otherwise, there's nothing we can do for Alphino now but pray for his success." Egrid says, "Well, that is not entirely true." While your brother journeys to Garlemald from the east, I could make my way there from Alamigo to find out what there is to be learned in the Empire's western provinces. Then I'm coming with you. I can't very well sit here sipping tea if there's action to be taken. True. Thancred says, forgive me, Alisaie, but the provinces are hostile territory and stealth is all important. It is safer that I go alone. I can sneak well enough when the situation demands it. Don't patronize me. What will you say to Alisaie? We should leave this to Thancred. He's the undisputed master of stealth. Not you, too. Y'shtola says, I understand your frustration, Alisaie, but Gav has the right of it. We must defer to Thancred's expertise in this matter. Alisaie says, fine. Just promise you'll be careful. He's gonna sulk. That's so teenager. Y'shtola says, Alisaie and her brother bicker as all siblings do, but she worries for him nonetheless. 'Twould be a kindness if you were to visit from time to time and distract her from her cares. Okay, get some Thancred time. We gals love our Thancreds. Well, I had best put on my skulking boots. There'll be no room for mistakes once I've crossed the border from Alamigo. And Alisaie says, it seems that praying is to be the extent of my contribution after all. But I will stay behind as I have been bid. Thancred says, we all have our talents. Mine just happen to involve a silver tongue and soft souls. I promise to send word the moment I learn aught of consequence. Y'shtola says, see that you notify me, too. I mean to depart for Doma as soon as I find a suitable East Aldenard vessel to bear me thither, but I shall return if I am needed. Alisaie says, be sure to drop in whenever you're next in the area, Gav. With any luck, I'll have a painfully detailed report from Alphino to share. Painfully detailed. Nice. You have learned the emote Ponder. Alisaie is impatiently fussing with her link pearl. That's so Alisaie. They do a nice job of characterizing her. Oh, Gav, if you've come here hoping for news, I'm afraid there isn't any. Everything is exactly as it was. Y'shtola is still investigating primals in the Far East. Thancred is still gathering intelligence in the Imperial provinces, and Alphino is still out there somewhere. There's been no word since his first scheduled report, nor does he respond to calls, and all the while I'm just meant to sit around here waiting. It's driving me mad. Alliance Herald says, begging your pardons, I bear a message from the Eorzean Alliance. Thank the gods for that. We have a visitor. At least it's going, anything to break the boredom, anything. Welcome to the Rising Stones. If you have a message, I would be most eager to hear it. My lady, the Alliance leadership will soon convene to discuss the matter of Ascian interference, and they humbly request the presence of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Having assessed intelligence provided by the Alamigan resistance concerning the whereabouts of Xenos' remains, they too suspect Ascian involvement and wish to deliberate a suitable course of action. As the foremost authorities on our foe, your order's counsel would be most welcome. Ellie says, of course, we should be glad to assist in whatever way we can. With almost everyone else afield, I say this one falls to us, by which I mean I'm not going on my own. You'll come with me, I trust. Of course I'd rather not. Let me see what he... I'd rather not. That look. If you would rather not, how do you think I feel? I despise formal occasions, as you well know. But in the absence of Alfino and the others, we'll just have to grin and bear it, won't we? Yeah, okay. I had to see what he did there. Ellie says, well, there you have it. We accept the invitation. Alliance Herald, thank you. The time and date of the meeting will be shared in due course, but I can confirm that the council will take place in Alamigo. By your leave. Elise says, I somehow doubt we'll have anything useful to offer, but standing mutely at a meeting would still be better than the nothing I've been doing of late. Let's make ready to depart, shall we? Thancred? What's going on, man? Alright, just be careful on the road back, you hear? Elise said, did I hear right, Ryle? Is Thancred coming back? Aye, that he is. He says he acquired some important intelligence. Being in Garlean territory, though, he couldn't risk sharing the particulars in case the Imperials were listening in, so he said he'd head back as quick as he could and to make sure someone was waiting for him in the Alamigan quarter. Understood. Gav and I will go. We're bound for Alamigo anyway, and there's sure to be time before the council begins. Come on, let's be off. She's like dying to go somewhere. It's great. I love Alize. She could be my alter ego, right? I'm probably closer to Alfino in personality and, you know, being a brainiac than, Alize's action. I'm gonna eat some food just in case we gotta go do some other duty. Uh-oh. Thancred doesn't look good there. There's no doubting your talent for espionage, but the journey is long and the border is heavily guarded. You did well to make it back in one piece. You two are a sight for sore eyes. Now all I need is water for my parched throat. Fetch me a cup, will you? Traipsing through Imperial territory is thirsty work.
God, I needed that.
I won't bother telling you to catch your breath. Whatever brought you galloping back to us, I assume it's urgent.
Quite. Without further ado, then. After the successful uprisings in Doma and Alamigo, rebels in several other provinces were inspired to follow suit. Unfortunately, they did not fare quite so well. The Dalmascans paid the heaviest price. For their defiance, the Emperor made a show of razing their capital to the ground, prompting many of their neighbors to abandon thoughts of resistance. But not all have given up on liberty. Heartened by the news of Doma's prisoner exchange, some still believe that the Empire may one day be amenable to negotiation. We have the shinobi to thank for spreading the good word. They have worked tirelessly to keep the subjugated informed, and a little knowledge can go a long way.
There is at least a spark of hope, then.
A spark in want of kindling, yes. The
Come on.
Alliance has already begun supplying materiel to resistance movements abroad, many of whom would otherwise struggle to continue the fight. The support effort has been led by the Sultana and the Elder Seedseer, who have both seen enough Alamegan refugees to know the consequences of oppression. And for their troubles, they have quickly earned a reputation as folk heroes in certain corners of the Empire. That is all for the provinces. As for the Garlean motherland itself... Our friends, the Populares, have suffered something of a setback, I regret to say. Talk is rife that Doma has summoned a primal, and the Empire's more liberal voices are being drowned out in the fearful clamor for retribution.
And who do they think orchestrated this summoning?
Oh, any but those truly responsible. Xenos has seen to that. Speaking of whom, the Crown Prince is recovering remarkably well. Well enough, in fact, to enable him to personally tour the provinces, putting the fear of the Emperor into the hearts of any would-be dissidents.
He walks in plain sight, and none suspect him. Then it's as we feared.
Yes. An Ascian wears his skin. But it was not that which brought me here in such haste. During my time in the provinces, I learned many things. Yet at no point did I hear any report of a Doman emissary in the capital.
But Alphonse should have arrived by now. Could they be holding him there in secret?
The possibility did cross my mind, but I have reason to believe he never reached his destination. As you know, Scions assigned to covert operations, such as Riol and myself, are issued special link pearls for communication in the event of an emergency. I mention this because it was originally Alphino's task to coordinate the response at headquarters, meaning he has one. And whose voice should I hear when mine recently crackled to life?
You spoke with Alphino?
Spoke with? No. I but heard his voice, and none too clearly at that. 2 words were all I could make out. The burn.
The wasteland on the edge of Otherd. Something must have happened to them there. There's no time to waste. We must make for the burn at once.
I had a feeling you might say that.
And? I can't very well sit around here drinking tea if Alphino's in trouble. You said yourself that this link pill was only to be used in emergencies. So I'm going, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, far be it from me to change your minds.
Thancred. It's good. Come on along. I'm not going to get in your way. Thancred, everything else for us. Oh, here, let's stand over and keep him dry, right? I will leave the 2 of you to your task and see to my own. Okay, now we'll talk to Alize and keep her dry too. Except I can't target her that way. Loath though I am to neglect making preparations for the council, we must act swiftly before Alphino's trail goes cold. I propose we first pay Hian a visit. He's sure to want to hear about these developments, and he may well be able to advise us on how best to reach the burn. Thancred says, a sound planned, and Y'shtola is in Doma, is she not? I dare say she'd join you in the search if you ask her nicely. While you see to that, I shall go and report my findings to the Alliance. You may leave any preparations for the Council to me. Thank you, Thancred. Right. To Doma, then. We have much and more to share with Y'shtola. Alright, Thancred, is anything else? As much as I would like to visit Doma, it will have to wait. 12 speed you on your way. Oh, and give my regards to Y'shtola. Alright, speak with her at the Doman Enclave. You can't, it doesn't show up on the Yangsham. I wish they would change that. That is curious indeed. While other matters demand my attention at present, I shall bear what you have told me in mind. Should you notice any change, do not hesitate to seek me out. Miner says, thank you, my lady, you are most kind. Well, well, two faces from the dim and distant past. It's not that been that long, you can come now. Sincerely, at least it says the same thing. Come now, it hasn't been that long. Who was that you were speaking with? Y'shtola says, a local miner who supplies crystals for the rebuilding effort. Of late, he claims to have struggled to find a crystal with so much as a trace of elemental energy. Upon learning that I had some knowledge of ether, he came seeking my counsel. Just now, he brought me one of his recent finds. It was precisely as he described, devoid of elemental energy and eerily reminiscent of the de-aspected crystals that manifested in Eorzea in the days prior to the calamity. We would be wise to investigate this phenomenon more closely. Elise says, indeed, but on a more positive note, the locals seem to have taken a liking to you. Y'shtola says, more an interest in than a liking to, I think. The sight of Miqo'te with a peculiar contraption upon her head has a certain novelty value in these parts. Any actual regard they may have for me I owe wholly to you and the others who came before. Everyone here has been exceedingly cooperative, and I am eager to report that I have all but concluded my investigation. Simply put, by focusing one's will upon an ether-infused object of worship, it is possible to conduct a summoning. Elise says, so, the fact that they are objects of worship is the key? They are themselves infused with the requisite belief? Y'shtola says, correct. Such sacred relics as the Kojin collect obviate the need for religious fervor in the summoner, Yotsuyu being the most obvious example. She had but to associate the artifact given to her by Asahi with the divine, and it served to amplify her desires and give them form. A form nourished through the power of crystals, also provided by her brother, and thus was Tsukiyomi brought into being. Which brings me to the question of preventative measures, to which I have yet to find a satisfactory answer. At present, I know of naught that will avail us, save to keep watch over the movement of relics and crystals, as if we did not have enough to keep watch over already. But I doubt you came all this way to hear that which may be perused in a report. Has something happened to Elfino? Yeah. We don't know where he is. I shall join you in the search, of course. Thank you, Y'shtola. I should be glad of your help, truly. Now, if there's nothing else, I shall go on ahead and request an audience with Lord Hien. Ystola says, Alize puts on a brave face, but she has little talent for concealment. We should join her at the Kien-Kan. I think it's Kien-Kan. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. If I remember, I'll look it up. Guardsman says, Lord Hien is expecting you. May I show you in? Yes, please. Alright. And I hear the family came home. So I think I have a cutscene coming up. And I've got to go make dinner. So, I'm going to leave you on that cliffhanger. Mama Cat Gamer is going to get the cat joke. Gotta have our cat joke. All right. Why do cats make terrible DJs? They always pause the tunes. Pause the tunes. It's as bad as usual. Okay. You know, if you're having fun, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz. You know what to do and when to do it. Mama Cat Gamer is signing out. Y'all have a great one, cats and kittens.